Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Khalik Darwish. Being able to make a good conversation, that is really important. Every one of us want to be a good conversationalist because there is an honor attached with that. Being a good conversationalist actually allows us to enter the mind and the heart of the people. It's so important. It's so useful. All of us should be would be curious to know how, if at all, I or you, someone else could become a good conversationalist. We are of the view that I need to have enough amount of knowledge. I need to have quite a lot of information. And then too, it's not only having the information and the knowledge, rather the delivery as well. A very good delivery as well. Delivery of that knowledge and information so that we could become a good conversationalist. I don't disagree with that you need to have a good amount of knowledge and information plus the good communication as well, the good judgment as well. But there are certain other simpler ways as well, and which can actually make us look like a good conversationalist. So this is how I think that we can enter into this field, into this arena, without having much of the knowledge, even without having much of the knowledge, even without having much of the information. And this is going to be the topic of our today's discussion. Like every talk we have made and put here on the YouTube, I think that I do include the very good article, and that is a kind of expert opinion. Having an expert opinion, that is really important, and it actually validates our conversation. It actually rectifies and make whatever we are talking about more and more authentic one. It is really great. Although the disagreeing could be done even with an expert, with a so-called expert, but at least they know a lot and they have done quite a good amount of research which we need to avail. Let's go to the article which we are going to discuss and debate about. This is 5 tips to brush up your conversation skills. 5 tips to brush up your conversation skills. These are the 5 tips so that we could develop the skills in the conversation, in our conversation. This beautiful article has been written by Tina Fey. Tina Fey is a well-known researcher and an author in the Western world. She have done quite a lot of research and intellectual work on the subject, applied psychology, personal achievement, and training. Now let's go toward the 3 tips of good conversation. Let's go toward each and everyone else. First of all, it is ask plenty of sincere and curiosity-led, open-ended questions. We need to ask lot of questions, but these questions must be based on curiosity, sincerity, and of course open ended. Whatever we are asking, it should give an impression that the person who is asking this question is sincere with me, with you on the one hand, and there is a bit of curiosity they want to know, and of course it is an open-ended question. An open-ended question means it is not going to be a multiple choice question. It's not going to be a yes no question. Rather, let the person ask whatever they want to say. It should be an open ended question. That was the tip number 5, asking a lot of questions. Number 2, be sure not to pry. Be sure not to pry. Be sure not to grill. It should not look like, our questions should not look like we are grilling, we are criticizing, we are interrogating, or we are stepping in into their personal information. None of these, all of these are not the right thing at all. dear friend, and taking care of all these things, we should be proceeding, we should be interacting, we should be talking to them. And now the number 3 question is, consider your consider your audience, unite you with the person. We must not ignore the kind of person who is listening to, the kind of person we are talking to, the kind of person we are asking the question from. And because if at all our questions are further separating us instead of uniting us, that's bad, and it must be avoided. Rather, we need to talk, we need to ask the question, we need to talk in such a manner that it should unite us, it should bring us closer to each other. And that was the tip number 3. The tip number 4 is it's not just about your words, it's not just about your words, it's also about what your body is saying. The body language is being talked about here. And the body language, it is the particularly the facial expression, and if at all where we need to show that I am sorry for what happened with you, or I am very happy with what happened with you. And we should be, it is the body language itself is quite a deep and comprehensive subject. But initially we need to know certain things, particularly our facial expression. And that was the tip number 4. The tip number 5, according to the Tina Fey, is brush up on your active listening skill. We need to polish mine and yours active listening skill. That is really important, active listening. Because if at all we are a good listener, believe me or not, we are at least 50% of the good conversationalist. And this is so important that everybody want to have the good listener, everybody want to make friendship with the good listeners. Being a good listener, that is one of the prime qualities of all those people who are desiring to become a good conversationalist. Here she explains this thing into three further points. What are those? First of all, she says that don't get distracted at all. Rather, pay full attention and stay focused upon them. Do not get distracted at all. Rather, dear friends and fellows, we need to pay full attention, we need to focus when somebody is talking about. Number 2, she says that avoid interrupting other people. Do not interrupt at all. If at all it becomes compulsory or very necessary, then be very respectful, be very sensible, and while interrupting the person. But the best thing is not to interrupt at all. And the third thing is thinking about what you are going to say next, after जी, thinking about what you are going to say next rather than focusing on what the other person is saying. What happens with us is that while we are listening to someone else, usually we are seen thinking about the answer, what we are going to respond once this person is has completed their talk. I think that we should not be doing it at all. While we are listening, focus on the listening. Don't pay any attention at all to that what I am going to answer at the end of this conversation, at the end of this person's talk. I think that is, these are the 3 points. Do not getting distracted, bad; interrupting the other person, bad; thinking what I am going to respond once this person is over, and note that's wrong as well. We need to pay proper and complete attention to when somebody is talking. Let's have a very quick review of all this article, this beautiful article by the Tina Fey. 5 tips to brush up your conversation skill. First of all, ask plenty of sincere and curiosity led open ended questions. Ask plenty of questions which should be based on sincerity, curiosity, and these should be open ended. Number 2, be sure not to pry. We don't have to interrogate, We don't have to step into their very personal information. We don't have to grill them. And the third is consider your audience. Unite you with the person. Mean the way we are talking, it should bring us closer to the other person and not repelling them. Number four, it's not just about your words, it's also about what your body is saying. Number five, brush up on your action. Brush up on your active listening skill. Getting distracted is bad. Interrupting others is bad. Thinking what I'm going to respond when this person complete is also bad. We need to focus upon them while they are talking, and then later on thinking what should be the right answer, what should be the unbiased, and what should be the justified answer. Dear friend, that was a very useful article to all those people who desire to become a good conversationalist. Thank you.